shape. We saw United defend with a back four at times against Bournemouth for the first time, really, under Amorim. These are their average positions from the first half against Bournemouth. That looks suspiciously like a back four there. Now, on paper, they did start in that familiar three-at-the-back system, and we did a piece on the Premier League show yesterday showing that in 200 league games as a head coach, Ruben Amorim has always started the game with a three-at-the-back system. So that technically did continue. But as you can see in the first half, particularly here, defending in a back four, it was almost a 4-2-4 at times, defending in a 4-4-2 as well. Is this the way to go? Is this what everyone's been screaming out for Amorim to show a bit of adaptability?
I think it was interesting. I mean, first of all, that looks suspiciously like a winger rather than a right wing-back in Amad Diallo. But I think it was interesting what he said in the interview after the game, when asked about the formation and the possible change, and he went, well, if it's a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3, it's more about the details. And it's the first time I've really sensed that there's been a relaxation really about the system and not being bullish about how he wants the team to play. But I think they're starting to understand that actually if you're going to play the starting system that he wants to, there has to be a real fluidity about it to get into that midfield area, which is where they find it difficult.
Now, obviously, as a player, there's more things to think about here. If you know you're going to be defending in a 3 or a 5 and you know that's going to be it and you're sticking to that, great. But now there's more things to think about in different phases of the game. Should I be playing Lenny Yoro here? Should I be shifting out more to the right-back position? As players, are they going to be more suited to that, bizarrely, than actually kind of sticking in that rigid system?
I'm not sure. I think it's very individual. Some players understand it very well and can adapt from in possession to out of possession very quickly. Other players find it difficult. If everyone can understand it, then being able to be fluid and interchange between the formations is ideal for a manager. Sometimes certain players need strict instructions to focus on to get the best out of themselves. That's where I think with the recruitment's going to be key for those intelligent players that can switch formations as and when.
And I wonder whether this new adaptability for Manchester United will help them keep the ball out of the net. It's just 6 clean sheets in 43 Premier League games in charge for Ruben Amorim. And he's alongside some throwback names, some more recent names here in terms of clean sheet percentage. What do United need to do better to keep the ball out of their own net?
Again, whenever I watch a Manchester United team, you think about Bruno Fernandes and the great attacking ability that he has. He wants to charge, he wants to press, he can be out of position, and you leave Casemiro on his own. So I've seen some real improvements in terms of one of the centre-backs stepping in. Luke Shaw's been the best of it, I think. Yoro's not bad at it either. Stepping in, that's what his sporting side did. They really pressed in into that midfield area. There's been improvements, but when it's turned over quickly, again, as we saw, straight down the middle of the team, Bournemouth were able to just penetrate right through, and that's still a real concern. To allow 9 shots on target in a home match against Bournemouth is not anywhere near what you need to happen.
Well, the neutrals will be absolutely delighted if we get another 4-4 for the game this weekend against Aston Villa, live on Sky Sports. I'm not sure Ruben Amorim will be able to take it.
Neither will the Villa fans, eh, Dave? The Premier League has a global following with fans from across the world.
Let's hope it is. Let's talk more about Manchester United and Kobbie Mainoo, who was introduced in the second period with half an hour remaining, to a roar of approval from the Old Trafford fans last night as Manchester United faced Bournemouth. Plenty of attention, though, has gone to Mainoo's half-brother, Jordan, who posted a picture on Instagram wearing a free Kobbie Mainoo T-shirt. Does this help or hinder his quest for first-team football?
I don't think it helps when right now it feels like there's a genuine chance of him starting the game, obviously with Casemiro's yellow card, but ultimately he wants to support his brother. So, you know, there's part of me that feels like, well, he has the right to do that because he feels like, you know, Kobbie Mainoo's not been given the opportunities that he should have done at Manchester United. And I'm pretty sure Kobbie Mainoo must be sitting back thinking, almost, what have I done? You know, you go from being a star in the last tournament for England, and all of a sudden you can't get minutes for Manchester United, and players like Wharton and Anderson are starting to take their chance with England, and he seems so far away from that, and he can't even get in the Manchester United team as well. I'm sure he is feeling pretty down about that, so I can understand the frustrations.
I mean, there has been some comments from Ruben Amorim about some of the academy players and players coming through at Manchester United. Does something like this trying to undermine the head coach's authority?
Yeah, I think it's trying to make a big statement that he, you know, certainly him and his brother...
He can't have that, though. He can't have it. No,
he can't, and that's... I think he's been quite strong in terms of, you know, he is going to pick who he wants to pick. He hasn't put Kobbie Mainoo in for sympathy reasons. He's a football manager of a massive football club. He's making the decisions that he feels is right from what he sees day to day on the training pitch. Ultimately, as a player, you can still feel, I'm sure Kobbie Mainoo does, feel like there's a vendetta against you. You feel like, well, why is it me? Why am I the one that's missing out? I know I'm a great player. I've shown for my national team I'm a great player. The fans are probably telling me I'm a great player and I should be in the team. It's difficult as a player to accept that, but that's part of your role.
Let's take a look at how he did on the pitch last night for that final half an hour. What was your take on how he got on and the things he did? It was obviously a short amount of time on the pitch. How do you think
I think whenever I've seen him, I think he continues to show the talents that he's got, that close control in tight areas, the vision, the work rate. But ultimately, for whatever reason, the manager feels like Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes is a better fit in there. And when he said that he's fighting against Bruno Fernandes for that position, you felt straight away that he would clearly find it difficult to get minutes, and whether it might be better for him and his development to do that elsewhere. But I've been impressed with his attitude whenever he's come on and had minutes for Manchester United. He's still a young player, lots of development still to make. It would be a real shame, though, if this continued for too long and stunted his development.
And you mentioned it earlier, but the Casemiro yellow card against Bournemouth triggers a suspension, so he's going to miss the Aston Villa game. Is this the opportunity that Mainoo has needed? Do you think he'll start this game at the weekend?
Well, I mean, that's the big question. And if I'm Kobbie Mainoo, that tells me a hell of a lot about what the manager thinks of me if Ugarte starts ahead of me or somebody else drops in to that position ahead of me. I think when we find out the team news, you will be pretty sure about how Kobbie Mainoo feels about that, and that might actually have a big say in what happens in January, because at some point as a player you would then want to feel like you want to push because you want to play at his age.
Yeah, and Mainoo actually might